In the Factor Investigation segment tonight, reporting by Fox News correspondent William Lajeunesse out of Los Angeles, says that the Department of Homeland Security is not telling Americans the real story about illegal immigration on the Mexican border. It's a huge issue in this presidential campaign.
We're going to end family detention, close private detention facilities, and stop the raids and roundups. No child should have to say goodbye to their parents every morning, not knowing if their mom or dad will be there when they get home.
Secretary Clinton putting forth a very sympathetic view on illegal immigration. Joining us now from L.A., the aforementioned William Lajeunesse. So what's the headline of your story, William?
Two headlines. Number one, for years we've generally been told that the administration either catches or deters about 80% of the illegal immigrants on the southwest border. The report that I'm aware of, that we paid for, shows it's really more like 50-50, 51%. Secondly, you paid for it, it's completed in May, and it is still not being released, even though people who are involved with authoring that report want it out.
All right. Have you seen the report yourself, William?
I have been extensively briefed on it, and I have seen portions of material from the report that allowed us to make these conclusions.
Right, so you're 100% sure that
number.
And who did the report? Who did it?
The report was done by an outside federal, quasi-federal agency that was hired by Homeland Security to do it. 8 researchers spent 1 year, made 3 trips to the border. These are the best and the brightest, all PhDs. They came out with the report, peer-reviewed. The numbers, the methodology is good. It says the number isn't 81%, it's 51%, and that's a number they're trying to get out.
So what does the Homeland Security Chief, Jeb Johnson, say about this, number one, and why is he holding it back, number two?
Well, ironically, Jay Johnson is one who ordered the report. Congress had been asking for this number for years, dating back to Jenna Napolitano. He had the courage to author, commission the report, wanted to get it out. And when he tried to get it out, he was told he had to go to the White House Domestic Policy Council, headed up by Cecilia Munoz.
Who told him that?
Well, the people who at DHS told the consultants who were hired to do the report, you have to go to the White House before we can let this out. It has to be coordinated, if you with the Domestic Policy Council,
Johnson
which coordinates the
is
president's
involved
message.
with keeping this thing down. He didn't put it out on his own. He said you got to run it by the White House. Of course, the White House doesn't want it out there. That's the bottom line?
That is the bottom line. They had a meeting, 13 people. They yelled at each other. They said, we want it out. No way. They said, political reasons, you're not going out.
All right. It'll get out now that you reported it. And by the way, that is an exclusive by William Lajeunesse. Good job. And we appreciate you coming on tonight. The other security story this evening, hacking into private emails. This week, General Colin Powell, former Secretary of State, was embarrassed when his personal emails surfaced publicly, disparaging both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Joining us now from Washington, Morgan Wright, a cybersecurity analyst. So, who do you think hacked into Powell's emails?
All indications point to the Russians. They've had an ongoing campaign against the DNC, you know, the CIA director. Gustafer 2.0 probably has some affiliation. The Russians are very good at doing this, and the Tradecraft and the Toolkit bill pretty clearly points that it's got to be coming from somewhere in there. When
somebody gets hacked like General Powell, the FBI, is that the investigating agency that gets called and goes in and tries to track who's doing it?
Yeah, usually they do that. They usually have primary responsibility for things like that. Sometimes the Secret Service or DHS will get involved, but on something like this, you'll most likely see
it's an FBI
take the
investigation.
lead.
And there's a pattern of behavior that the Bureau has seen.
Yes.
Each hacker, Chinese hackers have a pattern, Russian hack. And you're saying that you know for a fact that the Powell hack was a profile of a Russian operation.
Well, it's hard to put facts in cyberspace. If Russia launches a missile, we can pretty well trace that. That's direct attribution. But like we saw with North Korea, Bill, you know, it took a while to get the facts down. But let's put it this way. There's more things to indicate that it's Russia than it is anybody else, geopolitically, technically, tradecraft tools. So
could it be just individuals,
you know,
these WikiLeaks people, and could it be individuals that are doing this? Some guy in their basement? Is that possible?
I don't think so, Bill, and I'll tell you why. There's a level of sophistication here, a level of rolling things out, a level of understanding political implications to doing this, and the sustained effort, Bill, it took over time to collect these emails. I mean, these things went on for a couple years. They have over 2 to 3 years of emails of General Powell and other people.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this is a sustained,
so now
initiative.
Powell gets severely embarrassed, and now everybody in a power position that uses the machines, as I call them, has to worry about being hacked. Is there any way that folks can protect themselves?
Yeah, Bill, you know, if people will just do 3 basic things. Number 1, encrypt every piece of data you have at rest or in motion. Number 2, use a better password, use a stronger password, and there's some things out there, built a course around to do that. Third thing is it's called multi-factor authentication. It's like a username and a password, then either a security key or a token that recycles every 30 seconds. If you would just do those 3 basic things, you would be better than 98% of the people computing in the United States right now. Those 3 things.
Okay. Texting, that's not the same as email. Can you hack into texting?
Yes, you can. You look at there's a protocol called SS7. Doesn't mean, you know, it's a geeky thing, but that thing was hacked. That's the thing that basically runs all the cell phones around the world. So if you can get to an email, you can get to a cell phone, you can get to a text, and with Apple and iCloud and storing things like that, there's a lot of things you can get to people don't realize.
You see, there's no privacy in the world anymore. There really isn't any privacy anymore. This encryption, I guess,
unless
is
you're
the best
somewhere
thing.
in Alaska. Yeah, go to Alaska somewhere away from all the cell towers. You might come
right.
close.
All right. Mr. Wright, we appreciate it. Thanks very much.